And breaking news coming in, the ANC's second biggest province nominates Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma for the position of the ANC president. NDZ received 123 branch nominations as opposed to CRZ's 170 nominations at the Provincial General Council. With the 223 abstentions, David Mabuza is nominated as deputy president with 185 branches voting for him. Now joining us on the phone line for a reaction on this, Professor Prof Han Yanni, political analyst. Very good afternoon to you, Professor. How crucial is the outcome of the Mpumalanga PGC, which has now picked Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma as their presidential nominee?
Good afternoon, Audrey, and good afternoon to your viewers. Well, basically, I think at the core of what has developed is that it confirms the fact that the two nominees, i.e. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma as well as Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, are at the forefront of this contest. I think it's early days to pick who the real front runner is until such time that we get results from the other provinces. But statistically, it seems Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma seems to be favored by the bigger branches per province in the country. And perhaps in the long run, this could augur well and be part of her favor towards the end. But all that this confirms basically is that it's a two-horse race. It could be so until the end, unless if there are surprises. But I doubt now if indeed there will be surprises.
Professor Prof Han Yanni, I'm going to ask you to please stay on hold as we engage with Billy Tsotetsi. He's also a political analyst. Billy, thank you for joining us. Professor Prof Han Yanni says it's obviously now a two-horse race. Can you explain for our viewers how important Mpumalanga as a province is in the race for the ANC's top spot?
Yes, as much as we probably expected more out of Mpumalanga for NDZ rather than Cyril. But after what happened, to me, I'm so much impressed because at the end of the day, these are the comrades belonging to the same organization, pushing the very same aim and the objectives of the African National Congress. It's my wish that let them close ranks. As we have seen last week, Ramaphosa, when we were speaking about the RET, that to me demonstrates that they now realize that they belong to one organization and they must push one program, not two programs, as if they're opposition. So let the branches now speak on the ground. That to me is going to satisfy me because we know that in terms of the participatory democracy, we believe that whatever lobbying they're doing, it must be done through the strict rules. And I believe that whatever they are doing, comrades, they are mindful that they belong to one organization. To me, that's all I can say, but I'm quite encouraged about what is happening. So elective conference will take a final decision from what is happening now.
Mr. Tsotetsi, thank you for that reaction. And speaking of branches, I'll pose this question back to you, Professor Han Yanni. 223 branches abstained. A very interesting number. What do you make of it?
I think it's born out of the confusion that the province itself, under the leadership of Mr. Mabuza, kept on promoting the card that there is this thing called unity. It could be a reflection of such confusion. And at the end of the day, it may very well be decisive. We'll have to wait and see. My biggest concern is it could sway the vote towards the end, if not increase the vote as well. We need to keep an eye on that. But my assessment is that it reflects the confusion that all these past weeks, their card was focused on the so-called unity card. And it could be those branches that felt that they were more in line or were offering some kind of allegiance to that narrative. And suddenly things swayed differently. Let's hope that this, in the long run, will not create confusion, especially towards the conference itself.
And it obviously is a very closely contested race, Professor Han Yanni. Given the slender margin, if you have taken a look at it, how much do you think will change from the PGC to the elective conference?
Well, those who have abstained in Mpumalanga alone now hold the card. I would not even dare calculate what are the stats outside of Mpumalanga. Instead, as Mpumalanga leadership, I would be very concerned that you have a big number of those who have abstained as branches. What does this mean in terms of giving the province a direction? Do you still go back to the unity narrative, or do you back the two horses up front? It might create problems. I don't know how the Mpumalanga leadership is going to go about dealing with this issue, and of course ensure that one candidate, and I suspect in this instance, Nkosazana Zuma, given the fact that she seems to enjoy the three provincial support, i.e. Mpumalanga, Free State, and Northwest, how are they going to outwardly declare that vote towards Nkosazana Zuma? It's a touch-and-go situation.
And any chance of CR17 perhaps bridging this gap? It's a very narrow gap, Professor, if you look at it, just going forward before the elective conference.
It's now in the hands of those who have abstained. Either they abstain towards the end, or they reflect on this and are persuaded. Let us not run away from that. There could be horse trading towards the end. And if that takes place, it could basically change the total complexion of what we see as results right now.
Prof, thank you for that reaction. I certainly appreciate it. We have our reporter who's live from Bombela who's joining us now, Natasha Piron. Natasha, good afternoon to you. So we have this breaking news with Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini being backed by the second biggest province. What has happened on the ground that culminated to this decision?
Well, indeed, Audrey, very good afternoon to you and to the ANCMP, who is indeed the second biggest, largest province, has actually decided, the branches have decided that NDZ, should be nominated as their next presidential candidate, followed by Cyril Ramaphosa with 117 votes. And of course, for deputy president, we have the leader of the province, or the chairman rather of the province, Didi Mabuza, leading at 185 votes. They voted Kgalema is their chair with 87 votes. And for SG, we have Senzo Mkhunu with 81 votes. DSG, we have Jesse Duarte with 40 votes. And last but not least, TG, which is very surprising, Paul Mashatile at 85 votes. We've also got 223 branch abstentions. I think this is the most interesting part, Oji, because the people on the ground, branch delegates, are actually saying that we should actually call that as unity. I mean, before these nominations were read out, lots of talks about unity. The Premier of the province, David Mabuza, saying that other provinces should actually emulate how Mpumalanga was, saying that no other person is actually bigger than the ANC. But I'm actually joined by Sasekane Manzini, who will actually unpack what actually happened, inside, and especially, the clarion call for unity. Sasekane, always a pleasure having you on ANN7. We saw what happened inside. We saw that when the results were read out again, and the chair of the elections, as you may put it, said that Nkosazana was actually leading, and that's when branch delegates actually came and opposed that, saying it's actually unity that was actually leading the province. Just unpack for viewers who don't actually understand what that meant.
Let me start by indicating that this year, when we started in our January 8, we said this is the year of unity as we celebrate OR Tambo. And also as a province, we have been going around other provinces talking about the unity of the organization. The reason why we are doing that is because we have seen that the ANC is no longer the same. The ANC is weaker than it was before. Then we try to say, can we come together and bring everyone so that when we go to the national conference, we are able to unite the organization. I'm thinking that that's why most of the branches, more than 200 branches, opted to nominate unity, so that they use their nomination to say, let us try to bring everybody together so that we unite the organization.
So the underlying tone, that we're actually getting from this is that people are not pro-NDZ, people are not pro-CR17, but people are pro-unity for the sake of the organization, more especially because this year is a year of Oliver Regional Tambo under the theme, Let Us Deepen Unity.
We've always said as a province, we'll wait for the nomination from branches, then we'll be able to say what branches are saying. Even when we're visiting other provinces, we've agreed that we'll wait for all the processes. When we're done, we'll be able to go around and say, this is the position of Mpumalanga. So it means Mpumalanga branches have spoken to say, let us unite the organization. So we'll do as such.
Thank you so much for your time, Sesakan. Indeed, like she was saying, that the branches in Mpumalanga have spoken, and theirs is unity. I'm also joined by a leader from the SACP. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on ANCMP. I think interesting views and interesting scenes that we actually saw inside there, despite Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma leading by 123, nominations from the branches overall, and Cyril Ramaphosa leading by 117. The underlying tone, what was placed actually rather on emphasis was the issue of unity within the province. You also heard David Mabuza saying that there is no person who is above the organization, and you're also calling other provinces to emulate what Mpumalanga is doing, putting unity at the helm of everything else.
Yes, in fact, Mpumalanga started long with this program of unity. To us, as the South African Communist Party, unity means that the alliance must work together in order to deliver services to the people. The alliance must work together in order to ensure that we deliver a better life to our people. But we also appreciate the fact that the SACP did not take a decision in terms of the preference as to who should be president and who should not be president. We rely on the leadership of the ANC from branch level to take this decision. But what transpired today here is that Mpumalanga is for unity. That is why you see Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa getting 117, Comrade Nkosazana Zuma getting 123, and the rest going for unity. We so wish that as we emerge from the 54th National Conference, the leadership that would emerge there, it should be a united leadership that will work together to improve the lives of our people.
Indeed, like you said, the branches have spoken. Just quickly also unpack the matter of abstentions. We saw a lot of abstentions, but remember inside, delegates preferred not to call those as abstentions, but they labeled that under the banner of unity. For a person who doesn't understand what the underlying political tone of that message was, can you just please explain that to us?
Look, the branches, they have nominated unity, but according to the Electoral Commission, there is no unity. It's either Cyril or Nkosazana Zuma. So it would therefore means that the branches from Mpumalanga, when they come to conference, they will either decide as to what do they want to use the unity for. They can decide to use the unity for Cyril Ramaphosa, or they can decide to use the unity for Nkosazana Zuma. But what we want to see as the South African Communist Party is that the collective leadership that would emerge from conference should be a united leadership whose purpose will be to put the movement first, to put the country first, and to put the people of this country first.
Thank you so much. Beautiful analogy, and thank you so much for your time. Well, the SACP in the province actually explaining that analogy very well, saying that abstentions rather that stand for unity will either be used, for unifying the ANC, of course, at the upcoming national conference that was just about 2 weeks away or due. So, I mean, from here in Mpumalanga, the clarion call is unity, unity, unity. Also asking other provinces to emulate what they have been actually practicing under the banner of unity. It's from me, Natasha here, and the team Bombela. Back to you in studio.
A huge thank you to you, Natasha, and to your guests as well. Different perspectives coming from our political analysts as well. Professor Prof Han Yanni earlier on, and Mr. Billy Tsoteti also joining us live. Of course, our ANC's second biggest province, that's in Mpumalanga, having nominated Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma for the top position of the ANC.